All right, guys, Mike Volkin here with Freelancer Masterclass.com and the Freelancer School podcast, now on iHeartRadio and always on iTunes and Google Play. But let's talk today about a student submitted question. We actually had this several times, and I'm just decided, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do a presentation and podcast about it. This is, when is billing due? There's so much confusion around, when do I bill a client? When do I send that invoice? Do I send it too early? Do I send it too late? When's the right time? So let's go ahead and talk about some of the options. You have three options. You can send it due upon receipt, which means that you're asking the client to pay it right now as soon as you send the invoice. No matter when you send it, during the course of the project, whenever you send it, it's due at that point. You can also send it to them before the start of the project, and we'll talk about some of the implications of that. And then you can also send it due in 30 days, which is kind of standard, but I'm going to tell you from a freelancer's perspective why you shouldn't do that. Okay, so let's talk about, before we get into any of those, how you should send invoices. Now, this isn't so much a common question, but I do get this every now and then, is what's the best way to send invoices? I personally use QuickBooks. Some people use PayPal, some people use Stripe. It really depends on what country you're in and how much the invoice is for, but I'll let you make the decision on which one you should do it. You have plenty of resources. The way you shouldn't do it is send it through mail. I have a couple freelance students that used to send it through mail, and that is not an efficient way to send an invoice in this day and age. I use QuickBooks because I have a bookkeeper and a CPA that rectify or actually reconcile my account every so often inside QuickBooks. So I keep everything in one account. I have some freelancers that use a mix of QuickBooks and PayPal and Stripe, depending on various aspects. That can get a little hairy because now your bookkeeper, or you, if you're doing your own books, have to go into various different systems and pull data together and aggregate it and then rectify your account that way, or reconcile your account that way. The reason why you want to reconcile your account often is to make sure that the money coming in actually came in, the money coming out actually went out. And I'll give you an example. I had a freelancer a couple years ago, a freelancer student, send me a receipt that they got from a client, and it was a little bit extra. He billed the client for $800 and it came in for $1,100. So he sent it to me. He's like, why would the client be sending me extra money? And then asking, because the person was asking to send back the difference in cash. That's a red flag right there, right? So think about a freelancer sending out an invoice for $800, getting back a PayPal receipt for $1,100. What was the deal there? Well, it turns out that PayPal receipt was photoshopped and sent in, and the address was spoofed. So it had it at paypal.com. So it was a fake receipt. The person never got that money. So I told the person, go in and rectify the account. I keep saying rectify. It's supposed to be reconcile the account. Go into PayPal, I told the freelancer, and see if you ever actually got that money. Turns out he didn't. It was just a spoofed email, fake receipt. So that's why I'm not saying that you should think that that's a normal, but that would be a big mistake if you never caught that and you wound up sending thousands of dollars to someone else. All right. So you always want to make sure that all the pennies and that were incoming and coming in and coming out were all reconciled throughout the account. All right. So let's talk about sending a receipt or an invoice that's considered due on receipt. That means when you're telling the client, here's the invoice for my work, whether it's paid in advance or in arrears, that means back, that I need you to make that payment today or as soon as possible. It shouldn't sit on your desk for a week or a month, okay? Typically what I like to do is I like to tell them, you have 5 to 14 days to pay. That's a reasonable time, because if the client is maybe not making the payment themselves, maybe they're a manager of a company and they have to send it to an accounting department that gives them plenty of time to make that payment, to question the invoice, to do whatever they need to do to make that payment. And make that clear before you start working with a client, when you're going to be sending the invoice and how long it's going to take to expect to receive that payment. All right. So they might tell you, especially if you're working with government agencies, that it might take 60 or even 90 days or more to get a payment. You have to factor that in, because I do not work with government agencies because of that. And I know freelancers who do, and they're getting paid sometimes for work that was done 3 months prior. I mean, talk about a slow, inefficient system. Try working for the government. I mean, I'm not going to rail about that right now, but if you want to be a freelancer that wants to get paid, I mean, you'll get payment. It'll be on their schedule, not yours. When should I send it? So if you're being paid hourly, you should send the invoice on the same day every month. You want to be consistent. You want to set expectations, because the second you don't do that, then you are telling your client that you are lax in your ability to send payment. That means you're lax in your ability to receive payment. Okay. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard that story where a freelancer was on vacation and they usually send it the first of every month, but they got back on the 10th of the month and they sent the invoice and they had problems collecting that payment because that client makes all their payments on the first or between the first and 7th of the month, right? That's when their accountant just pays all the bills. Now they have to wait till the following month. So you should be very regiment about the day that you're going to be sending the invoice. And if you're not going to be there, let's say you're on vacation, you want to make sure you schedule invoices to go out on that day. Due in 30 days. So this is very common. In fact, QuickBooks has this defaulted on their invoices that the invoice is due in 30 days. You do not want to do this because that is a long time for a freelancer to wait. Let's say you spent the last 30 days working for a client and you send an invoice on the 30th day saying, please pay me for the prior 30 days. But it says due in 30 days. Now, many companies and accountants know that cash flow is king, and they want to hold the invoice for as long as possible to make that payment because they want that cash flow. Why pay somebody before it's due? Because any interest that's being held on their account is money coming into them, right? So smart companies know this, and they'll wait till the last day to pay the invoice. Even if they find out, especially if they find out that you don't have a late policy, then they'll even hold it for an extra couple of weeks just to get that extra money in their account, that extra interest payment. Okay, so you want to send, for like I mentioned earlier, 5 to 14 days at the most. 30 days is way too late. And you also want to make a late payment. Say if it's not due, if it's not received within 14 days, then 5% or 10% late charge will apply. Okay. Should I invoice the client before I start work? Absolutely yes, as a freelancer. Now, clients will usually balk at this, but don't feel like you're being a jerk. This is standard. Because you're being hired as a freelancer, consultant, contractor, whatever you want to call it, the employer, the person that's hiring you, has a lack of liability because of the way they're hiring you. So when they hire an employee, they have to take on a whole bunch of extra fees and charges, and they have to abide by certain laws that you as a freelancer aren't accustomed to. So when let's say, for example, I in California have to take on an employee, I have to pay certain payroll taxes. I have to do certain benefits for them. If I make an investment payment through my SEP IRA, which I do for a retirement investment account as a self-employed professional, I have to offer that same investment to my employees. Like there's a whole bunch of laws that you have to know, take on an employee. That's why a lot of people go to freelancers and contractors. So when you're asking for money up front, it is a very small price to pay for that benefit. Okay. So at the very least, you should be asking for 50% up front. And there's a whole slew of reasons why you should do that. But just know that the main reason is because you are being hired as a freelancer and your time is money, and you should be collecting that 50% up front because of that. Any client who declines to pay you at least 50% up front, that is a huge red flag. I think in my day, I've had 3 or 4 clients who haven't paid in full for work. And every single time it was for people who did not want to pay up front. That is a huge red flag. And talk to any experienced freelancer who has that same issue. I'll tell you that correlation will exist. At least if you get 50% up front, it's not a huge loss. If you lose 100% of your money up front, or if you lose 100% of your money for delivering work and not getting paid for it, that is a monster waste of time. And now you're looking at potentially having to get a lawyer involved, and that costs money just getting them involved. So avoid doing that at all costs. Try to avoid getting paid in what's called arrears. A client will ever ask you, do you accept payment in arrears? That basically means get paid after the work is done. They're asking for a reason. And usually that reason is not good. They're not saying, hey, I'm not going to pay you for this work. But what they're saying is that I want to see your work quality before you deliver it. And that doesn't fly as a freelancer / contract. That is just old school thinking. People just don't do that anymore. You will get people who don't pay in full or at all when you do this. Okay. So I hope this helped you kind of get your mind around when billing should be sent and when it should be due. Hope that helps. Good luck.